All right, got the first bumper up here, wire wheeled it. Going to be degreasing it here in a minute and then etching it, probably painting it tomorrow. One thing about this one, you do have to just make sure you take these off. They come with those installed brackets that go inside your frame rails. Just don't paint this with this on there, obviously. And make sure you plug those holes so that you don't pour 415 over those threaded bolts. That's going to be a bad issue. So more to come. Okay, it is day 2. I have let this stuff dry, and I've now got it degreased and etched. And you know, one thing about the degreasing and etching is I degreased everything last night, etched it this morning, cleaned it off with water, let it dry. It has this white looking film on it. That's from the actual etching compound. It allows it to kind of form a little bit of rust so that it the paint will adhere pretty good. This is, you got to follow the 415 process. If you don't, it messes up. I also let it warm up today. It was a little cold this morning before I start painting, so you don't want to paint the 415 in cold weather. Here's my tire swing out, my camp table, the braces, and the piano hinge that we have to set up. I turned my kid's zip line into a makeshift painting setup with a little bit of wire. These have all been etched as well. I'll just wipe these down, get that remaining film off of it. I've put things inside some of the threaded holes to make sure I don't paint into that. And yeah, so we'll get everything painted up today. Let it dry and top coat these pieces as well.
So today we're painting a bumper.
Okay, we're done with painting. I'm going to get the inside of it here shortly after I put the other top coat on the other side. But I'm going to let that dry just a bit before I kind of flip it over because I can't hang this one up. The other pieces in the back are painted as well. And the whole goal is just basically to paint today, assemble tomorrow when everything's kind of dried and cured for over 24 hours. So I did not get as far as I'd like to today. The one thing that I would show you is I saw this on the CBI bumper install. I think it's a pretty good recommendation. I've still got some 2 body bolts that I just cannot get out. I'm going to just hit with some PB Blaster overnight and see what happens. But here's the recommendation they made, and this is not in the instructions for the 4xInnovations bumper install. So when you're taking out these 2 nuts, trying to do this one-handed. One of the things that you want to do is put those nuts back in with a little bit of silicone. I use Toyota RTV. It just, I have some on hand. It makes it pretty easy. So see if I can do this. Gotta do this with one hand. And you just get it back in there a little bit and then tighten her up. That is a straight thing to the body. You just don't want any moisture getting back in there, so protect your body, right? The update, this is the mounting bracket that goes inside. I just pre-mounted it just to double check everything. One thing I noticed on this one is that while there are 4 holes, the back hole, this one right here, where the 2 recovery points go, that do have bolts welded into the frame rail, and you can put this, the bolts back in after you mount the bumper. This did not have a hole, so I had to drill a hole there. It probably would be fine without it, but I decided to go ahead and drill one. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, pre-mount the bracket just to double check everything, take the bracket off, and then I should be ready to mount the bumper. And I need my wife to help me with that. So more to come. So that last bolt is really required if you plan on towing with the trailer hitch. The bumper is installed. It was pretty tough, but my wife helped me. I used 2 jacks, ran a 2x4 between them, slid it in there, and bolted it in. One thing I did pick up from 4xInnovations was this filler plate. So it just, you know, spans that gap that would normally be in there. One other thing also I had to kind of work around was the exhaust mount. So this is the old one. This is my new one. I have the MagnaFlow Overland Series exhaust. So I had to kind of slide it in there and then jack it up. As you can see, I couldn't get my recovery mounts back on there. It does come with these shackles, so it should be okay. But I kind of want to put those back on there. You're really going to need longer bolts. That's the main thing. But it's got 5 mount points into the frame, so it ain't going nowhere. All right, got to put on the tire carrier next. So we've got the tire mount on along with the other accessories. Sorry it didn't show me mounting those, but it was late last night getting it all done. My biggest trouble really was mounting the actual carrier itself, including the bearings and the seals. It was a little bit tricky because I don't have a traditional like bearing push. So I ended up using like a socket and a wooden block and a hammer. I ended up pushing the seal in a little bit too far in the bearing and having to back it out a few times so I can get the sleeve fit in there. There's a great video out there on a Tacoma 4xInnovations bumper that I think is a good instructional video, so I will put a link to that. But that was my biggest problem. I've ordered some extra seals just in case, and the folks over at 4xInnovations, Adam and team, are really great to work with. They helped me out with all my questions. Tex here is going to show me how to open it up, so let's just give it a shot. It should catch right about
Here.
right about there. Why don't you show them how to open up the camp table real quick? It's got butterfly latches there. There you go. And that's it. So, and if we open up the back, we're camping. You wanna do it? Okay. Got access to our stuff. Got access to all the cook gear. We can put water in our jerry can holder right over there. So yeah, good setup all in all. One thing that I would say is I'll do the front bumper here probably by next weekend and show that video. Yeah, it's right over there. All right. Y'all have a great day.